Heaven's California.
Hey guys, today I'm going to be reacting to a video by Miss Nightmare Files. 5 creepy true house party horror stories featuring Mr. Creeps and Mr. ScareKrow. This is a long video, it's like 30 minutes long. 1 second, load up. But yeah, it's about 30 minutes, 10 seconds. I did not expect it to be this long, otherwise I would have recorded it probably a day or two ago. I'm not going to be too loud just because I think my mom and my sister are sleeping, but yeah. Without further ado, let's get into it. I'm just going to try to get comfortable.
I remember making noises and being half asleep, but I acknowledged him. Then he said something that woke me up immediately.
Charlie, what the fuck is that in the corner?
I think how house party stories are always kind of like creepy and like unsettling because like you never know it's a house party, you never know who's there.
For this story, my name will be Charlie. Years ago, my first year of college, I lived in a dorm. But if only I knew what was going to happen. I earned a scholarship to college for baseball, and all the players lived in one dorm. Being that I was a freshman, Dave roommate was a senior, so he could show me what right looks like. He was a pretty tough guy who no one would mess with, so I felt like I was in good hands. It was the winter, and by that time of the school year, I was pretty set in my ways and comfortable. I was invited to a house party that one of the sororities were throwing, so I went with a few friends. When we got there, it was like any other party. People were outside, and some were inside having fun. While inside, there was music playing, along with people playing video games in one room. And it looked like a board game going on in the other. That was upstairs. After a while, I went upstairs to see why anyone would be playing a board game at a party. When I got to the room, I noticed that it was the most quiet room in the house, which was odd to me. When I walked in the room, there were 4 girls and a guy sitting at a table. I asked what was going on, and they said they were using the Ouija board.
Oh no.
I thought it sounded interesting, so I joined. But I never really believed in that type of stuff.
Well, you do.
Messing with the board. It said that there was a girl in the room, but I think that one of the other people that were playing moved it, so I left. That's when unexplainable stuff would happen to me in my dorm. I'd hear laughing in our hallways at odd times of the night, knocks on the window, and I started to have bad dreams. I told my roommate, but he told me it was stress from our upcoming midterms. That went on for about 2 weeks. Then one night everything changed for both of us. I remember it being a Thursday night when this happened. I was asleep in the middle of the night, and all I heard was,
Charlie, wake up.
I remember making noises and being half asleep, but I acknowledged him. Then he said something that woke me up immediately.
Charlie, what the fuck is that in the corner?
I looked in the corner of the room and I swear there was a silhouette of a girl. I was so afraid that I jumped off the top bunk, and I told my roommate to get up and run, but he was so petrified. He was under his covers quivering. Then she spoke.
Why did he seem so scared? All I wanted to do was play with you.
No.
I told him I'm out, and we both ran out of our room.
No.
He was yelling as she's talking. After that, we were both so shaken that we never went back to that room. We called the police, but when they came, they never found any girl. I don't know if it was because of the house party, Ouija board game, or coincidence, but that was a moment that I'll never forget. To this day, I still hear odd noises throughout the night wherever I go.
Great. Well, I know who's not going to play with the Ouija board anymore. This music, though.
My name is Benjamin. I'm 57 years old. This story happened in the year 1991. It is a very tragic but true story. My wife Alex and I were invited to my best friends, Tim and Jessica's private mountain house for the night, and to have a sort of small house party.
Okay.
And they had recently gotten engaged and invited us to celebrate with them.
Alright.
They also asked my brother Daniel and his girlfriend Madison to join us as well. My brother drove us all to Tim and Jessica's house. It was a wonderful private house in the woods and mountains. This took place during the summer, so the weather was really nice as well. We drove up the long driveway, parked, and headed inside to greet our friends. We got to the house around 7 p.m. Jessica had been preparing a meal for all of us. We ate dinner, chatted, and reminisced about old times, and then played some fun couples games while we shared some wine and snacks.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't remember what the time was. I'm guessing around 10 p.m. or something. But we heard a knock on the front door. We all looked at each other with great confusion.
Yeah, don't answer
I
it.
asked him if he was expecting anyone else, and he said
Nope.
no. Jessica opened the door and I stood next to her. And it was a woman. She must have been in her early 20s.
Mm-hmm. What do
She
you want?
looked pale and had dark bags under her eyes. She said that she and her husband had broken down and they needed help.
Mm-hmm.
She then pointed behind herself and down the driveway. There is a pickup truck with the hood of the bonnet open and some guy waving at us.
Seems
Myself
real, but
and Daniel didn't know the first thing about cars, but Tim did. And so Tim offered to go down with some of his tools and to take a look. Meanwhile, the girl waited inside.
mm-hmm.
She took a seat and the first thing she said was, "Do you have any food?" We all didn't say anything for a second, probably because of how weird and awkward the situation was.
It's kind of weird just to ask
Jessica
for
made a
food.
plan and said there was some leftover chicken that she could have. Jessica made her up a plate and handed it to the girl. She started to eat it so quickly like she was starving or something. Each of us tried to make small talk with her, but she gave some vague answers though, and it didn't seem like she was interested in talking.
Hmm.
I asked what she was doing out here and how they broke down, as I found it really odd that they got stranded right at the bottom of the driveway.
Yeah.
She then said that me and my brother were on our way to go camping. I said, "Brother, I thought you said you're with your husband." She carried on, slowly eating before mumbling and said something like, "Oh yeah, I met my husband." I thought, something just isn't right with all of this.
Something's fishy.
So, I went to take a look through the window down the driveway, and I couldn't see Tim or her supposedly husband. I said to my brother Daniel that we should go down and check if everything is alright.
Yeah.
And he agreed with me. Daniel and I headed down the long driveway, while sharing each other's suspicions about that girl. When we got down to the car, Tim nor that guy was anywhere in sight. But what we did see was the toolbox.
He
that Tim had
killed
found.
him.
It was on the floor with tools scattered everywhere. Daniel and I called out a few times. Tim, are you out here?" Both of us scanned the nearby woods and we couldn't see a thing. It had gradually been getting darker, and we couldn't see anything without flashlights. So going further into the woods was pointless. And so Daniel said that we should go back and call the police. About halfway up the driveway, we heard a scream coming from the house. It was one of the girls. Daniel and I ran up to the house as fast as we could, burst through the door and couldn't see where the girls were. We each called for our other halves' names. We heard another scream coming from upstairs. We ran upstairs and saw that girl kicking and screaming at the bathroom door, while holding a kitchen knife. Daniel and I tackled her to the ground and disarmed her of the knife. Daniel held the girl down while I went to check on the girls.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica had been slashed with a knife on her arm. It wasn't serious, but she was in some pain. Alex and Madison were untouched. I said that Tim is missing and we don't know where he is. Alex went to call the police but said that she couldn't get through. She said that there was no dial tone. As we couldn't get through the police, I said let's just tie this girl up and wait until we figure out what to do.
Yeah, what about the husband and Tim?
Where the flashlights were. Daniel and I grabbed the flashlights and said we needed to look for Tim as we think he was in trouble.
Yes.
I said to the girls, keep trying to get through to the police. We'll be back in 20 minutes and then we would drive to the nearest police station or anywhere with a phone in Daniel's car. Daniel and I went outside and we searched nearby for Tim. We walked around in the woods calling Tim's name. After some time of searching, we came across a telephone pole that had been chopped down. Someone must have done this on purpose, and that was the reason why we couldn't get through to the police.
It was them.
The line had been disconnected.
It's a
We need to
setup.
get back to the girls right now, I said to Daniel. We started running back towards the house, and then we heard something on the other side of the woods.
Of course you did.
It was what sounded like 2 gunshots. Daniel and I carried on running. Eventually, we got back to the bottom of the driveway, and were shocked to see that the pickup truck, along with the tools, were now gone. We didn't have time to ask questions as he wanted to get back to the house and to check the girls. When we returned to the house, it was empty and the girls were gone. And somehow, so was the girl who was tied up. We searched the entire house, the backyard, and again the nearby woods, and found no one or nothing at all. Me and Daniel got in our car and drove as fast as we could to the nearest police station, and we told the police everything that had happened. We waited at the police station for them to return. They came up with nothing, just like us. I'm gonna skip all the searching and running because this story is depressing enough. This story has haunted me my whole life. I don't know what happened that night, who those people were, where my wife or the others had gone missing to. My brother and I remain close and still do to this day.
I'm assuming it was just like a setup to like get them out, kill them. Obviously, someone missing, so I mean, I assume they're dead. It was all a setup. That's all it was.
My name is Chantel. I'm 20 years old, but the story took place a few years ago.
Okay.
My parents were going away for a night, so I let my best friend Lana stay over.
Mm-hmm.
She helped me throw a house party as my parents were away. We invited all of our friends. Lana invited her sister, who was 24, so she could buy alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I could steal some beers from my dad's fridge in the basement. It was around 9 p.m. when the party was in full swing. Everything was going all right until one of my friends came up to me and said there was some guy being rude and bothering everyone.
Yeah.
I asked her to show me where he is, and she pointed at some tall guy wearing a baseball cap, a denim coat, and dark blue jeans. He was talking with some girl. Clearly, she wasn't interested, and she looked quite uncomfortable. I asked him to leave the girl alone and show some respect. He told me to mind my business. I asked him to get out of my house, and he laughed at me and said, "Make me." At that point, a couple of guys that were at the party grabbed him and threw him out.
Oh, awesome.
People were asking who that was. I didn't know him, and neither did anyone in the party. I don't know why he was even there to begin with. Party continued.
It's a setup.
It was going really well.
It's a setup.
Nothing seemed to get broken, and there weren't any fights, and people were enjoying themselves.
Yeah, not
I
yet.
think it was around 2:20 a.m. when the party was finally wrapping up. The last few people had left the house, and it was just me and Lana left. We were cleaning
guy's
up a
gonna come
few
back.
things before we passed out on the couch.
The guy's gonna come back.
As I was cleaning up, I noticed someone had spilled some beer on the carpet. I needed to clean this stain because my parents would kill me if they ever found out I threw a party. So I asked Lana to go down to the basement to grab some baking soda so I could get rid of the stain.
Mm-hmm.
She took like 5 minutes. I didn't know how she could take so long. I went down to the basement calling Lana's name. I didn't get a response. I walked down further into the basement and I saw Lana's unconscious body being dragged towards the back door.
Holy shit.
They're running toward the guy to stop him. I saw it was the same guy that we threw out at the party earlier in the night. Only this time he looked furious and was enraged. I grabbed him and started to punch him as hard as I could, trying to get him to let go of my friend. He punched me in the face, causing me to fall to the floor. Thankfully, he stopped dragging Lana's body out and he ran away.
Good.
I quickly called the police and they told me to stay on the phone in case the man comes back.
No, he won't.
I stayed with Lana trying to wake her up. When the police arrived, Lana still hadn't awoke, so she was taken to the hospital. As she was being seen, I told the cops what happened. They asked if anyone I knew at the party might have known this guy. told them I honestly don't think any of us did. After a long night in the hospital, Lana finally woke up.
She was
She was
drugged.
struck over the head with a blunt object.
Oh shit.
Thankfully, she was okay and only suffered a concussion. She told the police basically the same thing as I did. She said the last thing she remembered was the man running toward her and striking her in the head. Again, this happened to us 2 years ago. And as far as I know, the man is yet to be caught.
Shit.
What also creeps me out is where this man was planning to take Lana's body. And more disturbingly, what was he going to do with her?
Oh, we know. We already know. I'm not gonna say it, but we know. Yeah, house parties are not safe. You never know who's gonna come. It's a house party. There's so many people. You never know.
During my mid-20s, my two best friends, Cody and Sam, would often go to these underground house parties.
Mm-hmm.
That basically meant parties somewhere in the middle of nowhere to
Oh,
be
that's-
as loud as possible.
Well, that's smart. That's smart.
Drugs, and just go wild. Also, the neighborhood we lived in at the time wouldn't be able to hold parties, because if we did, it wouldn't be long before someone called the cops. So we would go online and frequently visit off-the-radar house parties. More often than not, the house parties would be in some old run-down house in the sticks, and sometimes even abandoned. This time was no different.
That's not
We got
smart.
an address to a house that was way out into the country. Cody was driving Sam and I. We had been driving for just over an hour when we started to hear and feel something was off with the car. So we pulled over to make sure everything was all right. And not only that, we were a bit lost. So we wanted to try and stop and figure out where to go. Somehow, one of the tires got a flat. After about 5 minutes of discussing what we should do, an old rusty people carrier pulled up beside us. A man then rolled down his window and just looked at us. We each looked at each other with confused looks on our faces.
Can I help you?
"What you boys doing out here?" the man said. Cody then explained to the man that one of our tires had a flat. Surprisingly, the man offered to help and said he had a spare tire.
No.
When
Yeah,
the
he
man
doesn't.
stepped out, he revealed himself to be a very large, slightly fat black dude. He had tattoos on his stomach, chest, and his arms. He also had a few scars on his face, along with one gold tooth. He
Kinda
opened
sus.
up his trunk and grabbed a spare tire.
Oh, so yeah,
I
I guess I was
happened to notice the back of his car. In fact, most of his car was just filled with junk. As he was fixing the tire,
Sus.
he tried to make small talk with the man, but he gave such vague answers.
And what's he gonna do for like
Sometimes
payment? You know,
He just wouldn't reply at all.
if he wants
As
something.
Cody and Sam were trying to pass the awkward time with the guy, I decided to take a look inside the back of his car as he left the trunk open. The first thing I noticed was the smell. It stunk of something rotten. I couldn't quite think of what it was, but it was vile. His
Body.
car was filled with all kinds of stuff, like old bits of furniture, empty bags of fast food, candy bar wrappers,
Ew.
some old tools, and a few blankets. One thing I noticed, however, was a big black bag that seemed to be leaking some kind of liquid.
Yup.
I think that's where the rancid smell was coming from.
There it
But
is.
before I could analyze the bag, the man suddenly slammed the trunk door down and said, "Do you mind?" This guy's stature alone was enough to intimidate you. I said sorry and walked back over to my friends.
That's sus.
We
Call the
told
police.
the man thanks. He then said to Sam, "That's a nice watch." It was a Rolex.
There it is.
I should mention Sam's parents are loaded and spoiled him from a young age. And I think this guy sensed we, or at least Sam, had money. And I was right when the man said, "You must have a lot of money to afford a nice watch like that."
Yep. So he wants
Sam
money.
just
Told you.
awkwardly laughed, whilst me and Cody looked at each other feeling awkward ourselves. Oddly enough, though, the man just got back in his car and drove off without saying a word.
Oh.
We all got back in the car and continued looking for the house.
Okay.
All the meanwhile laughing and talking about how strange that encounter was.
We
We
should have got a license
eventually
plate or
found
something
the
to get
house
the
party.
police search the
It
car.
was in the middle of nowhere, as expected, in a surprisingly large farmhouse. We pulled up and headed inside. It was as you'd expect a house party to be. Loud
so creepy.
music, people partying and dancing, and enjoying themselves without the worry of the police coming along and killing the vibe. The people in the party were pretty odd looking. A lot of tatted up drug users and extreme partygoers.
Wait, so
along
someone
with
just invites you
some
to a random
normal
party and you
people
just go
as
to
well.
it? No.
We spent like 30 minutes having a few drinks and talking to a few people. At one point, I said I was going to go upstairs to the bathroom, and Cody said he was going to head back to the car and grab some weed he had brought along with us. I went upstairs and headed into the bathroom. When I got in there, the toilet was disgusting. It was filthy and covered in, well, you know what. I thought to myself, I would rather hold it. As I was upstairs, I decided to have a little snoop around some of the rooms. The first room I stumbled across was a bedroom. It was so dusty in there, and had a bad smell to it.
Oh no,
I
what's in
tried
there?
using the light switch, but it didn't work. So I pulled out my phone and used the light on there to look around. I was
Okay.
looking on some of the dressers and saw some framed photographs.
Oh.
It was not what I expected. It was a middle-aged couple standing in front of this house, having their picture taken. There were more of the couple, with what appeared to be grandchildren, and other pictures alike. This was really strange to me. These people who clearly lived here, or at least owned this house, didn't seem like the type of people to hold a rave drug-fueled house party. I carried on looking around, and saw something on the bed. It was a big blue overall suit, a hammer that had some kind of red stain on the end, and some kind of identification card next to it. I
What?
picked
Whose
it
is
up
it?
and saw in the picture it was the same guy from earlier, the large guy who changed our car tire.
Oh shit.
Not only that the ID card seemed fake, and it was pretty obvious as well. The man's name was Buck Jones.
Buck
if that
Jones?
was even his real name. The next thing I heard was a man screaming, but it was off into the distance, out in the trees and forest.
Of course it
At
was.
that point, I went downstairs to tell my friends that we should leave. When I got downstairs, I went up to Sam and told him we need to go. He agreed. Cody then walked up to us, and right as I was about to tell him that we need to go, he said that when he went to his car had been broken into, some stuff had been taken, and one of the tires was missing. The panic started to set in.
Buck
To make
Jones.
it worse, we saw the same big black tatted up dude walk into the room. Buck had just arrived,
There it is.
and he was talking to his friends, whilst looking and pointing at us. And it didn't look like he wanted to become friends. Thankfully, as we were in such a crazy party, it was at this moment where some guy high on meth or something ran to the room screaming while shooting a pistol, and one of the bullets blasted a light bulb, causing the room to go dark.
Oh shit.
I quickly grabbed my friends, urgently ushering them to follow me upstairs. We couldn't just run out the front door, because that is where Buck was standing. We ran upstairs and checked all the rooms, looking for a way out through one of the windows. However, all the windows were either boarded up or blocked with tons of furniture. Thinking on his feet, Cody looked up and pulled down the latch that leads up to the attic. We quickly climbed up and pulled the latch shut. Out of breath, and each of us breathing heavily, we all tried to keep quiet.
Being in the attic
The
in an abandoned
music
house
was
is
still
not fun.
playing,
Not
and
smart.
people were still going wild. However, we heard footsteps come up the stairs, and the next thing we heard was, "Kill those motherfuckers now!"
Oh shit.
Sam whispered to me, saying we gotta get the hell out of here.
Shit, my god.
Cody then tapped on my shoulder and pointed towards something. There was a big window at the back of the attic. It was smashed wide open.
Good, get out.
I looked down, and it would be a bit of a drop for us to try and jump out. But I did see through a fence that had vines vines growing on it. So I whispered to Sam and Cody we could climb down the vine fence, and that's what we did. As quickly and yet as quietly as we could, we each climbed down the vine fence and took off into the woods. We ended up walking for hours with no cars in sight to give us a lift.
Phone,
Eventually,
police.
we found our way to a gas station and managed to call the police. We told them everything. What we saw in that guy's car, our car being broken into, how suspicious everything was, where the real owners of the house were, the men searching for us with the intent to kill us. Everything. I was informed sometime later, when the police arrived, most of the people at the party had left. The only people remaining were lying wasted on the floor, and our car had been smashed up. But unfortunately, Buck wasn't there, nor any of his belongings or friends.
Shit.
It's very upsetting to know that he's still out there somewhere. We were also informed that the owners of the house had been reported missing, and still, to this day, they haven't been found. From that night, myself, nor Cody or Sam, went to those unknown underground house parties again, and we were much more careful of the parties we did go to.
Okay, well, I think you're pretty stupid to go to a random party if you did do that. It's like you're just dumb. Like, who does that? Go to a friend's party, okay, with people that you know and they know. Not just some random party where you don't even know the owner, anybody. An abandoned house in the middle of nowhere? Are you stupid?
This story happened recently. My name is Alice. My best friend Lily had recently dated a guy named Marvin for a couple of months.
Okay.
I had ended it with him due to his creepy stalking and possessiveness. She was pretty shaken up about it. A few of my colleagues at work were throwing a house party on the following Friday. I invited Lily to come with me, hoping she and I would have a good time and she could relax for a few hours. We got to the house and the party was already in full swing. Music was blasting. People were playing beer pong. There was a Mortal Kombat tournament going on. And the loser of the fights had to down shots. It was pretty awesome, and overall, everyone's having a good time. During the evening, Lily told me she was going to the bathroom upstairs for a cigarette. The reason she went in the bathroom is because, like I said, it was freezing cold outside.
You been in the
And
washroom?
the house didn't allow smoking inside the house. As Lily went upstairs, I looked around for a few drinks. I grabbed a beer for Lily and a vodka and Coke for myself. One of my friends came up to me and asked where Lily was. I told her she was upstairs in the bathroom, and I asked her why. And she told me some guy was asking for her. I instantly knew who she was talking about. I ran upstairs to check if Lily was okay. I could hear on the other side of the bathroom door wrestling and muffled screaming. I instantly grabbed the door handle and tried to force my way in. But something was blocking it.
It was locked or
I
something.
pushed harder, and then suddenly I felt a burn on my arm. Marvin was burning my arm with a lit cigarette.
Oh shit.
Meanwhile, I could still hear Lily scream, and I assume her mouth was covered. If you're wondering why no one came to help, as I mentioned earlier, the music was blasting and the bathroom was upstairs around the corner, so people couldn't even see what was going on. After a few intense moments of struggling, the door suddenly flung open and Marvin shoved Lily into me, causing us both to fall to the floor. Marvin then climbed out of the bathroom window and ran off. Lily wasn't hurt. She said Marvin just wanted to talk, but she didn't want to listen. And then he got angry and started to cover her mouth. Unfortunately, the story doesn't end there.
What?
Obviously, after that happened, we went home and decided Lily would stay at my house for the night. We sat up watching Friends and having a few glasses of wine before both of us passed out on the couch. I don't know what time it was, but I woke up later in the night needing to pee. I returned back to the couch ready to pass out again when I heard a knock on the window. I walked over to the blinds and took a peek through. To my surprise, it was Marvin on the other side of the window staring at me.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
At that point, Marvin ran toward the front door and started banging, trying to get inside. He was smashing the door so hard I honestly thought it was about to cave in. Lily was awake at that point and called 911. I shouted to Marvin, telling him the police were on their way. This was enough for him to flee the area. The police arrived shortly, and we told them what happened. Oddly enough, that was the last time either of us heard or seen Marvin. I don't know if he got arrested or moved away. We're just glad that he's out of our lives, at least for now.
Yeah, for now. Okay, that was a pretty good video. That last jump scare is one that got me. Anything, there was no other jump scares, but of course the one I should have expected something in the end, but I didn't. So, but I will say though that, wow. So first of all, let me just say that I'm tired. I'm still like dizzy and stuff, and I'm still whatever from the past few months. So don't mind me if I'm like not really into it, or if I'm just kind of like, you know, like not really responding or doing much, or always rubbing my eyes. I'm going to the eye doctor today. I think I'm having issues with my eyes. I still see normally, but okay, you guys don't care. But anyway, good video. Again, don't go to house parties you don't know is the main thing. Like, I've gone to family house parties, like, you know, family with their, like, my family and their friends, of course. So, like, obviously everybody was known there. No one random came up, I hope. And it was good. It was really good, but you just gotta make sure that you know everyone at the party, because if you don't, you're gonna get fucked up. Like, yeah, you gotta watch out. You just watch out. That's all I really gotta say. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.